It opened up a window. There we go. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, we're live.
Chris plus cat. Yes, I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
two for the price of one today.
Gosh,
Ah, yeah, this is Road Trip to Fairfax, episode 7, if I'm not mistaken.
starting to lose count.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I have to remember. And it's March 9th, 2021. So we're rocking and rolling. We've done the whole month of March. And what's the month before that? February? Yeah, most of February. Head on. Good to see you. You ready to go
Yeah,
to
likewise.
Fairfax?
Absolutely. Let's do
All right.
this.
Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I um I was really, really thrilled that you came to the same dance in person that I also attended this Sunday.
That was a bit of a head trip. Yeah.
Like, because we're in a virtual car together during the Zoom, doing the podcast, but we actually got together physically and danced in the same space outside, folks. Outside, it's still COVID, with some distance and some masking and some, whatnot. And we did the silent disco, right?
Yeah.
So we had the headsets on. I've been there a couple times. How was it for you, Chris, to come to that like new venue? And I know you're familiar with the DJ, but why don't you riff a little bit how that was for you? Let our folks
Um,
know.
well, I mean, so I guess when I say as a head trip, it was a head trip for a number of reasons. One, of course, because I hadn't seen you for a while, and as we're talking about, we've done this whole virtual thing, but to talk so much about virtual, about pretending things being real, and then have something being really real, it was actually pretty incredible is probably the best way that I can describe it, because I had not been out to any virtual dances for quite some time. I don't think I've have since last year. I just kind of turned in and just kind of kind of rode the storm out for a while,
Yeah.
and so anyway, yeah, and I had not been to that particular park, snow park there at Lake
Yeah.
Merritt. Yeah, I had not been to that section. I mean, I've walked Lake Merritt. To be honest, I'm not that super familiar with it, but that park is absolutely beautiful. It's well spaced out. Most importantly, for at least me, there are bathrooms, plural, all
Mhm.
gender bathrooms there, which are really nice. And the silent disco headphones made it to it, so I could go to the bathroom back. But I learned that the doors don't lock necessarily all the way very well, so you always want to make sure you push it open slow and listen for like, oh, somebody's in here.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know
that
that because I use the bathroom, and yeah, I could talk
Oh
about
no,
that.
oh no, yeah, I would have walked right in on somebody, but I just kind of had a feeling. Yeah. So,
Mm.
but no, it was a really nice setup, and it would have been nice if it was a little bit warmer. It got kind of cold in a hurry, but that just kind of made me dance just to that much harder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a really nice event and a great pick for a venue and lots of parking nearby. I'm sure that's going to get a little bit more scarce as the weather warms up, but hey, I'm
Yeah.
ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this particular park, it's a new park. They redid some of the road around the lake, especially in front of the kind of downtown large buildings, and kind of really beautified that and made
Ah.
bike lane there that
Uh-huh,
wasn't
uh-huh.
there. This is all in the last year or so, year and a half. It took them almost 2 years to do that. So
Right.
I ride my bike around the lake a lot, and I ride right past that park, and there's just like the road goes there two ways, and then there's an extra separate two-lane bikeway that goes between the lake and the road, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But they put in a kiddie park, and I didn't even, until you said you need to use the bathroom. We were talking. I'm like, there isn't one because everywhere else in the park there are like literally almost no bathrooms. And you go, no, right there. I was like, hey, oh, I can really drink all the water I need and dance here and be comfortable. So that's an asset. Yeah, and the grass is,
Oh
gorgeous.
yeah.
The grass is
Yeah.
gorgeous. And the reason it gets cold, quite frankly, is, the sun is cruising along and then a big building is there and it just goes
Yeah.
behind.
Noticed that. Yeah, because I just stuck my face in the sun and just like for a while there, I just listened to the music with my eyes closed in the sun. But I was watching it approach that building and I'm like, oh, we are on borrowed time here.
Yeah, yeah. And what we've done in the past there is we move around because, it'll be sunny over here and then it goes behind a building and then it's sunny over here. But with those headphones will go like 200 feet at least, because you can
Hmm.
walk way away and still dance in another section where there's sun, which is where most people kind of migrate following the sun during those 3 or 4 hours. I guess it's supposed to be from 1 to 4, but it goes till 5 usually. And I got there, I think, around 2:30, which is
Hmm.
when Gabriel hit the decks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's something about Gabriel. I just quick plug for him about the kind of DJs he reminds me of back in the day in like the undergrounds with the, when things were on vinyl, is at the
Mm.
very end when, it was all over and the last DJ played, of course, everybody would be like, one more track. And, and some, not always, but sometimes they wouldn't. And when they did, it was a real treat. And Gabriel reminds me of that. And he'll play one more, two, three, but I think he was supposed to end at 4 and he went at least till 4:30, if not 4:45. He went quite a spell. And I love that. If like the mood hits him right and it's okay and you've got the, the permits and everything else is basically, if everything else is cool, he'll just keep going. And I really
Yeah.
admire that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The dancers still want it. And so the
Hmm.
DJ keeps playing. And
Yes, they
that
did.
event has floated over the 4 p.m. almost. Well, both how many times I've been there, 2 or 3 times now. And so, but it's nice when the DJ isn't they haven't run out of whatever a prepared set, but they can just keep,
Hmm.
you know. And then he finished. And did you see him come out on the dance floor, the last song, and kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
clap when everybody clapped and be out there, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I made sure at the end of I loved his set. And, you know, well, I'll just tell you what I said to him. I went up to him after the dance was over. And because I've seen him, I said, Gabriel, I want to just tell you how much I enjoyed the set. And, I love that. I don't know if he makes those combination songs. I don't have the quite right language for DJs, but he would have like um, some kind of what do I want to say? A familiar song from maybe the 70s. And
Hmm.
that would be like creeping in just enough to know it was there. And then boom, these other beats would happen. And it was just this beautiful weaving of, the nostalgic piece, but then the really deep and multifaceted grooves. And so that kept me really engaged. And he and originally his music felt kind of gritty and nasty and dirty and kind of dank rappy to me, and those are my terms.
Hmm.
And of course this is a daytime dance, but this felt pretty much light and celebratory more than that, and I appreciated that. I told him that I really appreciated that, and I'd seen him like evolve and thought he was great. He just ate it up. He
Yeah, he
just
did.
so
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
he wants to
Yeah.
be loved, and it's so great when people will tell him,
Yeah.
when it lands in him.
Well, and he was still pretty pumped off of his virtual set that he did with Oakland Dance earlier that morning, with
Oh,
Shannon.
he
With
had
Shannon,
that's
yeah,
right. He did
yeah,
a double header.
yeah. He was,
Oh,
yeah. I caught the whole thing from start to finish, and it was a completely different set than when he played out there. But it felt like that was an Oakland Suites ballroom with a virtual flair, and then you get to silent disco, and it felt like a silent disco in Lake Merritt in the park kind of flair. And I mean, and kind of to your point about how he'll play a familiar song, Cool in the Gang. I remember growing up going to the Oakland A's, man, and that's all you'd hear is, the celebration and all the good times. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, but he'll warm you up and then all of a sudden he'll just completely drop the beat. And that's kind of like it's like his modus operandi.
yeah.
But
He's
yeah.
got he's got his own unique, and it works, for lack of a better word, it really works. And so yeah, so for those who are just figuring out what we're talking about, there is a virtual Oakland Sunday morning ecstatic dance that's hosted by Shannon Sahaja, who's over in Hawaii. She's the host and kind of maintains that dance at this point. And so she's had different DJs in there. And Gabriel DJ'd that Sunday morning from about 10 to what, 11, 12:30 or something.
Mhm.
And then showed up at Snow Park ready to go again from 2:30 to 4:30 with a different set, with a Snow Park set, and a Sweets Ballroom set in the morning. So
Yeah.
that's, man, he must, yeah, that's a lot. He
He
was,
spends a lot of time lot of time mixing. And I remember for a while I would, because I'd get the alerts on Mixler that he'd be going on, and it'd be completely at a random time that I don't think he was necessarily performing per se, but just getting online, putting his stuff out there and practice, 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 practice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's worked it. He's worked it, and he's originally his kind of claim to fame as a dancer and a sort of a facilitator, dance instructor, kind of. That's how I, ran into him probably 5 years ago at one of the events, kind of the summer events. I forget which one it was, and he had DJ'd his own set, but then he was dancing in ways and inviting people to move certain ways, and that's what he was doing when he landed in the Bay Area from wherever he's from. I have a feeling Europe, but I don't know. You know probably his roots. Do you know?
Oh geez, now we're gonna be caught live, and I
Uh-oh,
don't I don't
now, yeah,
remember. Yeah, I
you
know,
can
right,
say
right,
I
because
don't
I
know.
like
It's
no.
okay to
Okay
say
to
I don't
say I
know,
don't know.
Chris.
Yeah, okay. Well, first of all, Harmony,
Yeah,
I don't know.
good.
But
Me
second of
neither.
all, I thought for some reason, I don't know why, but I thought Sebastopol for some reason. But that could have been like, I don't know, some of his ties to like Eric Murillo and Sharu, possibly. So I don't know. I,
I thought Germany for
I don't know.
some reason. So just goes to
What a
show,
trip.
yeah, I don't,
Well, he
I mean, he's totally an English speaker, so it doesn't seem like that he, but maybe we'll have to do that
yeah.
research and we'll have to bring it out so we can give him credit for wherever his roots are.
Well, what I
Yeah.
what I can tell you is that ecstatic dance DJing is arguably very new for him. Like his career has been dance choreography,
Yes.
and he's traveled the world. So doing that, and as a matter of fact, like dance has been part of his life. I mean, I'm sure like all of us since a kid, but like I remember him showing one of his videos when he was on one of the MTV shows where they were doing like a dance competition when he was
Oh,
just nothing but just a wee bit, young kid, and it was just unbelievable because it was like dancer one, dancer two, dancer three, and then I think he was six, and then he came out, and then everybody just completely
drop
lost their
their jaw.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It was amazing. So
Well, and it's my experience too, as I am a dancer more than a DJ, though I, because I'm a dancer, I know in my body when a song is going to pull me into dancing and other people, right? I could
mhm.
just feel it. I know when song is like the words might be great, but there's not enough of the beat, I can't even articulate it. But I also am like really a dancer and even almost a contact dancer before a rhythm-based dancer, although I have both, but they have kind of evolved together. But I always appreciate a DJ who's a dancer.
Mhm.
The sets are always so much uh, more satisfying and rich and danceable. I don't know what to say, but I can tell when a DJ has created his set from a movement place rather than sort of a, I don't know, some kind of intellectual um, uh, thinking kind of place.
Totally get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Him and Ava Leaping Ligris both have like when you watch them on their stage, like when they do their dance moves, it is just so dialed in. Yes, yes, that's her right
They,
there.
they they got it
Yeah,
all going, they're moving it as it's playing and yeah, it's just and so then yeah, that's
yeah, yeah. They remind me there was an old school house music DJ named Donald Galad that I would go see spin. This is like back in the vinyl days, and that's what it reminds me of. When I first saw Ava and Gabriel doing it, I was like, oh my god, the days of Donald Galad are back, because I haven't seen DJs like with those sort of like expressions out on stage doing that kind of stuff. It's like, wow, are
yeah.
we DJing or we're actually here for like an actual live performance, live
Yeah,
show?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's as if they're performing as, and they are. I mean, they're performing, meaning what it comes to mind for me is a musician, like a pianist or a violinist who is living and breathing the
Yes.
emotions in the tune, right? They're
Yes.
just and their face and their body is just completely having it, right? And it's not, opera has always blown me away because they're kind of really stiff and just singing all this stuff. I'm like, man, where's your body, right? How can you do that?
love watching love watching musicians just get into it, man.
Yeah, jamming and then with each other sometimes, or
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
having a time of that. It's so stimulating and so exhilarating and
Although
yeah.
props to the ecstatic dance DJ community, because that's one thing that I did not see like in my I'm going to say just clubbing days,
Mm-hmm.
is like all the different instruments that they perform. And I know we've talked about this before, so I don't want to like drag it out, but I mean, it's just amazing. And anything from like, to a flute, to a saxophone, to to a trombone, to drums, whether it's hand drums or,
Hand
well, I haven't
pan.
seen,
Yep.
hand pan. Yep.
Yeah. Ryan Kerr
Oh,
does,
yeah.
he's just like composing music as he's doing electronics, as he's singing, it's a
And
whole,
he's
yeah,
looping it too. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, his shows are great.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
awesome.
man.
Yeah. It's so much more than some canned music someone threw together,
Oh, it's a lot of
mixtape.
work. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's really it's I think I can feel when a DJ is really passionate, when it's not work, it's play in a
Hmm.
sense, right? It takes a lot of energy and focus, but they're into it, and that just comes across, I think, and it's just generous. This generosity in that's unmistakable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I arrive on my bike. I don't know if you were there, don't say, but and I kind of like get the earpiece on, the headphones, whatever they call those things you put on your ears, and it's loud. And here's a few people, and we're in the sun. And by the way, they set up in a different place today because before where it had been set up was over on I don't know, across the walk on the other side, way over on the other side there, which is probably east, more or less, and much shadier, much faster. So I was really pleased. There had been some talk about them moving the whole DJ set to the complete other side of the park.
Hmm.
And so people were in the sun dancing together, or dancing in in the space together, not together like I use the term. Um, and so I'm feeling into that and making some eye contact and looking around, and then I look up. Did you see me first? I don't have no idea. Do you remember when I
I
looked up and I just was like, there
Yeah,
you
because
were,
I just kind
20
of
feet away.
assumed you saw me before, and that would eventually we would connect. I just like, okay, all right, you're there, I'm here. I thought you'd be a little bit more excited to see me. I'm sure excited to see you. I know that was just a dick of me inside, totally,
No,
right?
that's fun.
Yeah.
That's so your thing, Chris.
It
I did
is.
not see you.
No, but yeah, I was looking there the whole time, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just kind of like, well, all right, then I'm just gonna stare. I'll just keep staring until we make eye contact,
You
and
just
then
were like, murr, 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 murr.
I was just, I was,
And honestly, I don't know what it was. Maybe the mask. I hadn't seen you in person. You were kind of on the edge like you usually are. You were kind of backed up against the sidewalk. And I, of course, go right to the center usually, or the center
yeah.
front, because that's kind of how I feel into the whole group. And I looked over, and then I don't think I've ever seen you dance in jeans, full length jeans.
No, you haven't.
And I just was, with the mask and a baseball cap, which you never see you in dancing, sunglasses. And, if I'd watched the moves, I might have caught you, but I was like, I didn't even see you until I saw you. That's when I saw you for the first.
I didn't even think about that. Didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yeah. That was a highly that wardrobe was like a thought out and like well executed move, because it was actually, the shirt was actually from an artist who I bought it at the farmer's market in Jack London Square years ago when Amy Cance was still around. I
Oh,
mean, in this, not what, I mean, she's still around, but I mean, when she was still on her boat
living
there at
there
Jack.
in the
Yeah,
lot.
yes,
Yeah.
the living there. And I just never got a chance to wear it. And then I was back up in Portland for a while, and it matched with that old school Puma hat that I got from a friend of mine in the clubbing days a long time ago. But when am I ever going to wear that green and orange with the red bill, like, rim Puma hat that goes perfectly with that Oakland shirt when I'm coming dance in Oakland? So it's like, and then the jeans was just, I'm just been trying to like mix up my wardrobe so it's not just always like shorts and a tank top, or sweats and a tank top. And so I was trying to do something new. But yeah,
Well, you
that's
fooled me. I
yeah.
didn't. I think I was looking for a tank top. You're almost always in a tank top and shorts. I get to see your legs.
Hmm.
And here's this guy in jeans, with a kind of a rainbowy weird mask too. Your mask was like, and the build hat and the colors and the Oakland shirt. And I don't even know what it was. When I looked, I, part of me just recognized you when I saw you move.
Yeah,
It must have been
yeah,
that, because I did
yeah,
not
yeah.
catch you from your dress at all, right? I was like, no way.
No. Oh
And
no.
we gotta fix this part of you where you think, oh, she's just kind of like sees me but isn't saying hello. Not that.
Well, yeah, I know it's not that, but you might be in your moment. You might be in your moment, and I've done that. I've done that before, where I've gone up to somebody on the
And they're
dance
not.
floor, and I've actually
Uh-oh.
gotten
You
shushed.
froze.
Where it's like they were in a
Oh.
private moment, and I came up and went like, "Hey, like, hey, good to see you,"
And
and
they're
they were
like,
like this in a
dude.
moment. No. They just went shh like that, and they were having a moment, and I get it. I totally get it. I didn't think twice about it, but I did think twice about it because I was like, I need to be more conscious of people when they're on the dance floor, and so I don't necessarily, and this is now like muscle memory, I don't necessarily beeline out to like say hi to somebody because I'm trying to be more mindful, like they might be in the moment, and so it was more like me looking at you saying, maybe she saw me, but she's in having a moment right now, and it's like I'm just going to
Right,
let her have her moment.
right.
I'm not going anywhere for hours. We'll
Well,
catch
no,
up.
it's brilliant and it's considerate. And it's obviously, a strategy for yourself to be respectful and give people their space and also not end up putting yourself in a situation where someone kind of snubs you or just, like down boy or doesn't have time because that's painful to have
Hmm.
that happen.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. And I kind of, yeah, well, let me just keep on the track before I flit off it. It makes sense that you would see me and basically wait until I saw you, right? Because you knew the minute I saw you, you might have thought, oh, she sees me, but she's not ready or whatever. But I think I'm guessing, hopefully, and if you didn't know, you know now, that's when I saw you. That
Hmm.
was like, and as soon as I saw you, I was ready to see you and happy.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was like,
totally. And to be honest, I actually really didn't even like think that much. I was into the music. I was
yeah,
dancing. You were having fun. I was having fun.
I know. I was just, me being the sort of the meddling friend who looks into your psyche at times and says, no, 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 you're very worthy of my attention. And if I see you, I'm going to want to come up and say hello. Don't assume that, you're like the 20th on the list and I have to go and say hi to everybody first. And then there you are, like waiting for, the crumbs. That's not my relationship with you. So, and I don't know who else's, but it's not mine. Okay. Got it? Can you land
I,
that?
I can land that. I got it. Yeah, yeah. Watch me learn too. Watch me
Yes,
learn.
that's right. That's right.
Too funny. But
Oh,
point of clarification though, it's yeah, the rainbows, it's they're actually unicorns
what? Like, yeah, like,
on the
okay,
mask, on the mask when
okay,
you saw that. Yeah, it
yeah.
wasn't rainbows, it was
No,
unicorns.
yeah, it
They
was rainbow colors, I think.
they
Like
were
there was,
rainbow
I
unicorns,
remember it
yeah.
was basically white with some design in rainbow, and I never even focused that closely. I just was never seen a mask like that. And by the way, Chris then made a full on clothing change at the dance. Then he had a black mask with a different kind of shirt, same pants, never took the pants off. What I did notice was, oh, and why I asked about the pants. So this is what happened. I see Chris
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh, that's you. Like it was really like, oh, that's you, that's who this is. Come right over. And my first comment was, what are you doing in these jeans? Before you answer, Chris, because I said, you have great legs and these jeans completely look sloppy on you. They don't show off your body. And, I want to see your body. That wasn't a sexual comment. It
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more, it was like, so tell our audience what you said and why you were wearing those pants.
Well, it was specifically for the dance moves that I was doing, and I was trying to and the reason I wanted to keep the tennis shoes on is because I wanted to be on the pavement and work on some of more of my footwork, where I kind of flick my jeans out and they kind of make a certain move
Yeah,
and they make a sound. Yeah, I like the little kung fu sounds that they make because
yeah.
if I do those little kicks, they go
Oh, okay.
like I see in kung fu films. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking there was a flap at the end where they smack your legs, like that, but it sounds like something
No,
else.
but this similar. No. But
Oh,
actually, you're on point. Yeah, where you
yeah,
kind of like flip a towel, right? Where you
yeah,
kind of
and it
like
gets the snap
twirl.
at the
Yeah,
end.
the
You
little
kind of
snap.
like,
Yeah, yeah. No, you
yeah,
got it. You
that's
got it.
yeah,
You
okay,
got it. So, and
yeah,
I don't know if that's actually happening, but that's what I tell myself in my mind. That's how I have fun. Um, but so that was the one reason, but also too, I was trying to be cute with the boxers because they gotten so like tattered and holed up, and that's why I mentioned the unicorns is that you might not have noticed, but I had the matching unicorn boxers to go with the unicorn mask.
I didn't see boxers. I did see that these jeans had big holes in the legs and were
Yeah,
pretty raggedy and pretty
yeah.
baggy, and I noticed because I also talked Chris into taking his shoes off. I forget why. Oh, because I was like, "Come on to the grass," and he's like, "No, no," motioning like my shoes get stuck in the grass, and I'm like, "Take the shoes off," because most people were barefoot, and he's like, "Well, okay, I guess I'll take my
No,
shoes off," and you
no,
did.
no. But that's
Nope.
totally not. I mean, that's you're right as far as what I did, but that's not what I was thinking. The thing
Oh,
is that I don't like dancing on the grass as much because I don't want to tear up the grass because of all my spinny moves and
oh,
because I do a lot of the shuffle.
okay.
The shuffle
Oh,
step,
okay, okay.
it'll damage the grass, and that grass is just absolutely gorgeous. So when I get on the lawn, I usually tone it down a whole
Got it.
lot,
You
and I try to
changed.
be really careful. So that's why I kind of
Mm.
alternate between the two, because then if I jump out on the concrete, but I can't do it barefoot on the concrete, then I can totally go to town out there. But then I got to watch out for people and
Oh,
stuff like that. I know that's all
oh,
the
okay.
stuff that's like going on up here. It's just like whoa, just swirling around, just
Well, and it's
yeah.
so funny
So
how what's going on for you and what I see, even when you mime me what it is, I make a different assumption. And the reason
mhm.
is I was dancing in my five-fingered Vibram shoes, and the little toes were catching in the grass.
Oh,
And I
oh.
and they have little they have little they have little rubber kind of, I don't know what to say, but the soles are kind of like they're very, very thin, but they're not slick. They're
Yeah,
grippy.
yeah, they grip.
And I was finding that I was like hurting my knees a little and just trying to move in those. I ended up taking them off because bare feet move on grass,
Hmm,
damp
hmm.
grass, better than the shoes. So I just assumed that you were having the same issue I was having with the grass, that I couldn't move on the grass. And you were just, no, I'm protecting the grass. It's so cute.
Yeah, that's that's what happens at dance. That's what's going on at dance. Talking
Right.
about
Nonverbal is not always what you think. And
it's
verbal is not always what you think. But, yeah. Yeah.
uh
Ah, yeah. So, what I wanted to say and why I made that whole loop, are you ready?
hmm.
Because my mind never drops a point except when it does, which is every other point. Uh, by the end of the day, I saw how grass stained the bottom of your jeans were.
I love it.
In grass stain. I was like, oh yeah, you've been here a while. He's like dancing on pants. They're long enough that you were.
On the grass. Well, an
Yeah.
important point of clarification too, the reason you're seeing those old raggedy jeans out is I miss wearing them because I gained so much weight when I moved back
Mm.
down here to California. And so now that I've been dropping the weight again, I'm kind of not in between sizes. I'm finally down a size, but for a while there, I was kind of like in between the sizes, and so I was trying to figure out, what fits best. And if I do the bigger jeans, then it's just like nothing but ass crack. So that's why I threw on the smaller ones. But yeah, so that was the other part too. Is just like, oh, cool, I remember wearing these. It kind of brings
Yes.
back some fun memories when
Yeah, and it's
you know,
also nice. I've been bigger body, smaller body, and it always feels really good when I can fit into the smaller clothes again. It's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, okay.
yeah.
There's a point of pride there. And I remember when I saw them on you, I didn't see how they were fitting at the waist because your shirt was over, but they obviously were old and loved, and they were just kind of like there was no shape to them. It was almost like wearing gunny
Yeah.
sacks, like what? How can I can't, I can't tell
It's
what you
because
have on.
it's because I used to be a candy raver. That was like, when I first kind of got indoctrinated into the like the rave scene, I got taken in by my candy rave peeps. And so those are kind of more like candy raver jeans, like back in the days of the big old baggy khakis where like at festivals, they would just be all just like mulled at the bottom. So, having those, having them all chewed up and grass stains on the bottom is kind of like a little raver rite of passage for me.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been on the bottom and got my pants all chewed up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah. Okay.
we're going to talk about raving because I've had a specific request that I ask you about that. But given that we have 15 more minutes before, we may get to that next time.
Perfect.
And Yeah, fair warning.
Yeah.
Two things. We may get to your tattoos. I can notice that you have a pretty fitted sweater on today, so maybe you won't be taking that off to show us. But I do want to mention, for those of you at home, don't try this with your friends who've just had a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. Not your fault.
So Chris and I mean, there's a whole loop in here I'm going to talk about that was before this happened, but I'm going to talk about this part first. It's so like we're telescoping, and then I'm going to go back in and fill in. So after Chris and I had some encounter there for a while, I got behind him and I saw some color in the back of his neck of his orchids being colored in, because the last time we looked, they were just black and white, kind of skin and black, whatever that color is. And I could see the pink, and I'm like, oh, you got your tattoos colored. And I just put my hands into his back with my new fingernails. And Chris is going, I didn't blow you away on the microphone, but I jabbed him right in his scab, recovering tattooed back. I'm like, I'm sorry, for about 20 times. Yeah, don't try it at home. He goes, well, at least you didn't do this, right? Yeah, you got your tattoos. So I discovered that about Chris. Not only does he have fresh color on his tattoos, but he's now wounded because I jabbed him in his tattoos. So
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. Well, I mean, I had just gotten it done on Wednesday, so it's still kind of fresh, but also too because it's a lot of they call it shading, I guess, when you color it in. Like when you do the outline, it's called outline, and then shading. I'm learning tattoo nomenclature. But anyway, so yeah, they shaded a good portion of the back, but it actually had already started healing up some, so it's not like you actually did any damage. It was just kind of like smacking a sunburn, where you're still going to be all right, but it definitely
There's
gets your attention
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was mollified because I know better, and you'd already kind of warned me, and then I just completely mindlessly. And it's okay. I'm not permanently damaged from that, Chris, from having done that. But I remember standing, I kind of froze. This is exactly what I did. He went,
You
ah,
did.
and I realized, and seriously, I've never had fingernails in my life, and I have, because they bend and they break and they don't grow. And I just stood there like a little stiff, and I just went, I'm sorry. You know, I just like mantraed it into.
Yeah. Well, and I knew it was going to be fine. It's just I just had to recover for a minute
Yeah.
there, just kind of like bring it down. Well, and the irony too is that I probably really shouldn't have been like out there dancing. I'm supposed to keep it out of the sunlight, and I'm not supposed to be sweating. And I was in the sun, sweating like crazy, but I couldn't. I just couldn't resist. I just could not miss it.
I think though, I
Wanted
think
to be there.
I hope the tattoo will survive. And
It will.
I just had an insight, because I just demonstrated what I did twice now in terms of being kind of stiff and saying, I'm sorry. And as I was doing it this time, Chris, I realized what I was doing. I was, let's see if I can put this in words. It's like, by me being quiet and drawing my energy in and saying, I'm sorry. It was as if I got injured and I was just bringing all my attention into my body, saying like, okay, like letting it have its painful course until it felt better. And that's how long I'm sorried, until your body kind of went, okay, I'm all right now. Wow. So that was like a telepathic, you know, uh, pain, what do they call it? When you feel somebody's pain for them. Of course, I can't think of the word. How embarrassing.
I know.
If I could be
right,
embarrassed right now, I would be. But since I can't be, I'm embarrassed.
I'll be embarrassed for you.
Yeah, thank you. You see why I have Chris around, folks. This is why. This is one of the reasons. Take note.
We may not be good at $25,000 pyramid, but we are kind of funny.
Thing, because that's about all we got going. Yeah. All right, so I want to bring you to so now anybody that's on the screen is going to see this is actually a very thick, I don't know if you can, whoops, where's the screen? Rubber band. It's this very, like, it's the color of like raw rubber, or whatever, cooked rubber. And it's probably 18 inches with a knot in the middle. There's a knot there. I didn't put the knot there. I harvested these. I have about 10 of these. When I was volunteering at the food bank, one of the one of the days we had this kind of cardboard display thing, and these rubber bands were part woven into it, like holding in packages of something or other. It's a long story, but anyway, I like to claim because
Mm-hmm.
it's a found item. And so, the idea was to throw the cardboard in the recycle. And I was like, no, man, I'm taking all these rubber bands out. And it was tricky to get them out because they were really woven into this thing. And so I had this idea they'd be useful. And I brought one of these, actually I brought a few, but I only pulled one out to the silent disco on Sunday. And I started by just sort of dancing with it, like it was a dance partner. I don't know if you watched me at all. You can tell me later. And then I was kind of looking at people to see, is anybody can I coax anybody into being interested in this? And I could go into more detail, but since we have 10 minutes, I'll say I found someone I knew who is a previous contact improv partner that finally said yes, put their hand in one end. I put my hand in the other end, and we danced with keeping the tension, between us. And I know wasn't just a discovery for me, but I realize that this is a great teaching tool to teach someone how to sort of rely on the partner in some way by keeping that tension. It teaches something about keeping that distance and using our center and our strength. I can see you nodding your head, and I'm worried I'm saying too much. But at any rate, I had that dance and then someone else, about 3 or 4 people. And tell me, Chris, had I come up to you earlier to see if you wanted to dance? We had danced kind of together from about 15, 20 feet facing each other. And normally anything we've done in the past at Fairfax would be you in the back, me in the middle somewhere. I might kind of swing by, but that's it. Like no, like sort of consistent, like relating. And so we did that, which was kind of for me a little bit like, oh, you're staying with this. You're not just turning around and like ignoring or not wanting more. Um, and I had remembered that you had said in our last podcast, right at the end, the teaser was I actually invited someone into, like, how did you say it? Like a partnering kind of relationship on the Zoom. Do you remember sharing that?
Oh yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go straight to the cool piece, which I have. Yes. I offered Chris an end of this rubber band and he took it. And we danced together as partners in a duet for a pretty long time. Oh, so satisfying for me, Chris. Um, and I've already overtalked, but I'm curious how it was for you. Yeah, don't shake your head. Just go, yeah, you have. Now it's my turn.
Yeah, no, 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 not at all, not at all. No, because it really was.
Hmm.
It was kind of, for me personally, it was kind of a big deal because that's something that I don't normally do. But after like having that conversation from, I think, what was it, 2 podcasts ago about contact dance, and then me following it up on the last podcast about, well, I actually decided to do something different for once, and ask somebody to dance, which was also a big deal. So it was kind of like the setup where I'm like, there's a really good chance that Harmony's going to want to contact dance, so I'm just going to make myself available. I mean, if I can go as far as to ask somebody to dance on Zoom, I think I can do the same on the dance floor in person.
With me.
And so, yeah, with you, absolutely. So no, I totally made myself available, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to reach out. I wasn't going to go for it because I'm still, me, I'm kind of, a little bit hesitant, but I wanted to at least offer that up, and I think that would be just like, I don't know, for me personally, I think that'd be kind of like cold if I didn't, after all that conversation. For me personally, I'd be like, come on, man, what's your beef? What's your deal, dude? What's your, like,
Yeah.
and the end result is I had a great time, and I feel like I might have learned something. I don't know, we're not gonna really have time for right now, but some feedback would be good, because we had our headphones on. It's silent disco, so I know you were trying to communicate things to me, but we really had to work on the nonverbal communication of it all. So I was doing my best to like try to go with the flow, but most importantly, not try too hard.
Yes. And that's
Yeah.
exactly, and I did say a couple things to you. We took the earphones off, but basically, um, um, hmm, how interesting. My brain just, and my whole body just wanted to pause me here. Because, I want to receive that was really significant for you. I do. I'm so glad. I was so thrilled that you said yes to that and you played with me with the rubber band. And it's a completely foreign thing for you. You had never done that before, no contact before, not even social partner dancing before. So it was a big leap. And and the thing with the rubber band is, once the primary piece is to keep the tension, that's all. The rest is all anything you want to do. Don't even have to make eye contact with the person. You're not responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you. I could close my eyes and blindly just keep using my body. Like I said, it's like a dog on a leash in a way, how the dog will just keep pulling, right? And you just keep moving around, like following the dog. So it's somewhat like that, except it can also go the other way, right? Where you're pulling the dog is pulling you. And then there's even the sort of like the squish in between, right? It isn't always pulled because it stretches. It's got some stronger pull and less strong pull. So there's this range in there. But it's the idea is to non-verbally invite and train us to keep that kind of dynamic tension. Dynamic yielded resistance is a martial arts term for it. And so that's really what's connecting us. It isn't that we're doing the same step or we're keeping the same distance or we're both doing the same move. It's that this moving thing is keeping us, whatever that is, in this kind of dynamic relational space. And you were brilliant at it. I mean, I was amazed that it worked that well. And I said, this is what I said to Chris at the end of the dance. That was your first partner lesson. And he said, yeah. What did you say? Something like, yeah, I was kind of aware that's what was going on,
Yeah.
and just a feeling into what it's like to sort of, I can do it better with my body and my hands than I can do it with words.
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Right.
what we're doing.
I'm
And even,
understanding that. Yeah.
yeah, you can see it and feel that that's what it is. And the rubber band is just kind of a little signal in there to keep the thread, keep us aware of it. So, I don't know. I was hoping to spend more of this podcast talking about it. So now I feel a little
I
silly, I have to
know. I
admit. It's
know.
like, what did I
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
I spooled out
Oh.
all this
Yeah.
other stuff and now it feels like too short to really go into, but
Oh, I got really
uh,
chatty too, though.
yeah,
I
well,
don't know.
no, it's
Yeah.
no shame, no blame. We can talk about it again, but
Yeah.
it was a piece for me too, Chris. This is the piece I think that one of the reasons I'm so excited about that was we had also talked about, I think in the last podcast, I brought up my sort of belated, if you will, recognition that like I've got this kind of dance, this kind of partnering dynamic thing you just saw on the screen in my blood and bones. For years, I've been, had that sort of language in me and know how to speak that language. And even when I dance with people, like I dance with Carolyn, the third person that we dance with,
Mm-hmm.
and she is able to find that with me immediately, pretty much. Although I feel like I'm in some way containing her and roping her the whole time with how, how I'm with her, because she tends to just not have a center. She has not grounded at all. She's flinging all around. She doesn't have attentional grounded or physical grounded. She's like all over the map.
Yeah.
And she thanked me. She said, "Oh, I really learned a lot. And when you push against me, that's so important." I said, "Yeah, that's, that containment of." So what I guess it's when I'm dancing with someone with all of the capacity that I have, I they can dance with me and meet me a lot of times, complete novices, but it doesn't mean they really learned how to do it. It means that I'm such a master, I can dance with them and keep them like in that type of configuration, let's call it.
Mm.
Um, because I keep adjusting to whatever they do and maintaining that no matter what they do. And I have mistaken that for, wow, they got it. They're done. Right. But really, it's like someone had that mountaintop experience, but they're not sure how to climb the mountain on their own, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
and that really does take breaking it down and learning this. This is a learned skill and a learned sort of dialogue and language. And so, but a first experience, well, I think I'm curious how it is as a first experience, if it opened you up to being more curious about it and learning more. Um, because that's what I hope that first experience does. Right. And so then, and if you want to learn more, it's like, okay, let's sort of like, let me show you kind of like how that happens,
Mm-hmm.
like from the ground up, how you can build up that capacity. So then you have the confidence that you are attuned to that kind of relating movement wise with someone and not sort of insecure or shy or whatever it is that's going to prevent you from exploring with another person.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in learning more. I think what, at least for the time being, what I certainly would find, I think, pleasurable would be a nice mix of the two. I do like my alone time on the dance floor. I do like to just bust it out. I mean, for so many different reasons, as we all do with what dance does for us. But definitely into trying to learn more. I mean, I'm not going to take that first step. It's like kind of like taking the one freebie demo class for whatever it is that you're
Right,
doing and saying,
right.
"Oh, that was kind of cool," and not pursuing it. So
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
yeah, I'm curious to check it
mm-hmm,
out a little bit more.
mm-hmm. And you make a really good point too, and I realize we're over by a couple minutes, but really dance, I really understand that as connecting as I am, what I am dancing is the same flow like when I breathe in and breathe out. It's an internal experience, external connecting, internal experience, external connecting.
Mm,
It really is
yeah,
that all the time.
yeah,
And so, yeah, that's what, and I think that's what you're saying. You want your own, and then you want to, and then your own. We have this pulse, this wave kind of
hmm,
that is just how we are, and respecting and honoring that, and not trying to like push that to be one or the other or all anything. That makes so much sense,
yeah,
and yeah, I want to respect that and honor that, and I'm like a little happy puppy excited that I
yeah.
got my you know um can't think of the word I want, sort of inveterate solo dancer friend
Look at you.
to say yes
Look at
to a
yourself.
little bit of partnering.
Look at
Yeah,
yourself.
I know. Because
Uh,
it thrills me. I want that in our friendship as well if I can have it.
yeah, yeah. I'll give it. Absolutely.
Hooray! Hooray! Well, I guess next week then we will hopefully do a little tattoo display
All right.
if you're up for it.
Sure.
And also, if you're up for it, we may talk about, or you may talk about, since I have really zero rave experience. I went to Burning Man once, which is as close to raving as I ever did. Yeah, just so you know, you might, in the same way that you talked about the clubbing,
Mhm.
maybe you could, tell us how that was for you, so we can vicariously have that experience through you. And maybe I'll see you again since we're going to have regular outside silent discos on Saturdays at Snow Park now. And then
Yeah, I was getting the skinny on that. Yeah, there's
yeah.
I didn't realize it's kind of it's actually a regular thing. I thought that was just like a special occasion. So pretty excited to hear about that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
new. It's new regular. And there was a
Okay.
debate about Sunday, Saturday, but there's also a outside open speaker, not silent disco,
Ah,
at Joaquin Miller on Sundays. So we're trying to
right.
like make space for both of those communities to happen.
Right.
So it's my understanding that Adrian will be doing his silent discos now on Saturday at Snow Park, same hours.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we can connect and play some more with the rubber bands
Hmm.
if you're willing.
Come
That
back
sound
to the
fun?
car. Come back to the car. Another road trip with some more stories.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Feed the road trip. Feed the road trip. So awesome. Thank you again for hanging out with me tonight
Yeah.
and for playing with the rubber band. Don't let me snap you.
I
'Cause
know, that's what I always worry about, you know. I mean, I've gotten at the age now where I don't do that to other people, but I kind of wonder.
That's not.
Yeah, that's all I think of is smack. Yow.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we play
Mm,
carefully and cautiously, and it's a tool.
totally.
So it's kind of like, a symbol for our connection, right? We might stretch far apart, but we're still linked. And
Hmm.
we can let that pull us back together.
Yeah.
No matter how far out we go, we still can kind of satellite back in.
In the dialogue of life, we're both flexible too, you know.
Exactly.
Nothing's set in stone. A
Yeah.
little this way, adjust a little this way.
Mhm.
We'll work around it. Yeah.
Right.
Look
There
at
we
that. We're
are. It's just
dancing.
like
All right. Yeah. All
working
right.
in the, yeah,
All
nice.
right.
All
Nice.
right. Nice, nice. A little bit of movement on this
Uh-huh.
podcast. Who
Ah,
knew,
woo.
right?
All right.
All right, let's do our sign off. For folks
Oh,
that are just new here, please subscribe to the channel, and so you can see these podcasts, right? And like this video, and come back next week at 7. Ciao.